You've also got an option here to add additional restrictions. And what this does is it allows you to add additional administrators. It allows you to define a list of cost centers, delivery address and invoice addresses. And where that becomes useful is if you have, for example, 500 cost centers, but only 20 apply to this specific user, then you can restrict that user just to those 20 cost centers. Same goes for addresses and invoices addresses. Moving along the tabs, we now get to the address tab, and we can go and add multiple addresses for this customer, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll click on the add new address, and we'll give the address a description, so we'll call this our Scotland address, and we'll just put some more dummy data in. Again, we need to get the country code spot on, so we select UK, address enabled and save, and that's added that additional address, and you just repeat the process to add more. We then come to cost centers. This is really straightforward, it's just cost center code and description. So we'll go ahead and add a few cost centers, so cost center 1001. We'll put that as sales. We can select a start date for the cost center because we now have budget controls against the cost center. That's a new feature that we've added into the software. So we want that budget to start on the 21st and renew every month. And the maximum spend allowed on this cost center we will say is £2,000. You don't have to select the budget controls, they are optional. So we hit save, and that adds the cost center to the list of available cost centers, and you just repeat the process to add more. Departments works in exactly the same way, just department code and description. And then the last part of one of the last parts of the process is you get a view of all the orders that this customer has placed. You can set up their group favorites list or manage their group favorites list from here. I'm not going to dwell too much on this function. If you want to find more about the group favorites list, then please check out the pricing video. You can set up a reward scheme for this customer. So we could say for every £200 that this customer spends, then we are going to give them 20 points. And we click rewards enabled and we hit save, and they're automatically going to start accumulating points based on the values we've set here. The update customer rewards tab allows you to add and delete points manually to and from the account. So it really covers the offline problem. You know, someone phones up and says, I need to place an order, I'm not at my PC, I don't want to lose my points, can you go ahead and add 200 points to the account? So you go, we're going to add 200 points, hit save, and it updates the account with that value. Just a few more things to look at. The catalog manager function. So this is the ability to restrict customers to a specific set of catalogs, a subset of catalogs. So for example, these are the 3 main catalogs applied to the store. But if you only wanted this customer to see own products, for example, then you click on the enable catalogs restrict. You add the own products catalog, and you click save. And when that customer logs in, they're only going to see the products within that catalog. The sales dashboard, when they've built up some history, is going to give you some nice graphical reporting on a customer. And then we have this feature at the end here, which is called customer sniffing. The customer sniffing, which I'll show you in a second with an account that's got some sales history built up, is a really powerful feature. And it basically gives you an overview of how this specific customer uses the site. It tracks every keystroke, every click, shows you where they go, products they look at, categories they spend time in, things they've been looking for in the ink and toner finder. It's the next, like we say in the marketing literature, it's the next best thing to bug in your customer's office. You can find out everything about these guys. So that's a quick look at how you add customers. What I want to show you now is how you go ahead and look at a customer that's already been set up. So again, you click on the menu button, you click on the customer manager, and we'll go ahead and search for a customer. So we'll search for somebody who's got some sales history built up so we can look at these different things. So let's select the John Hood test account. And we can go along and look at the sales dashboard for John. And this will tell us the sales values for this customer, what he spent across the different months. And if we come further down, it will tell us a sort of gap analysis view of the spend across different categories. So for example, we can see that John spent loads on printer and fax supplies but hardly anything on desktop accessories. So that's a really powerful screen to have a look at before you go and visit that customer. It can really give you a lot of information to base your next sales call on. And then underneath here, you basically get the last month's sales analysis, and you get sales by user as well and top 10 products. So some really nice graphical analysis on the spending activity of the customer. And as promised, I'm going to finish by showing you the customer sniffing tab. Now this is one of my favourite functions in the software, and like I said before, it just tracks every single keystroke that the customer makes when logged in and gives you a real-time view of how they behave and use the software. So for example, we can see at 10:56 John clicked on the paper category, he then clicked on A4 paper, he then narrowed the search to blue paper, he then clicked through on this product here, he then did a search for A4 colour paper, he then went to the ink and toner search and searched for a Prima or a Pixma IP4000 printer. And so you can see you're just building up this incredible amount of knowledge about this customer. And again, what a fantastic screen to go and look at before you make your next sales call to this customer. And then underneath that, it computes that information into a nice graph so you can see that within that period, the customer used the ink and toner tool 2 times. They did so many search queries. They went to the A to Z product listing, and this is the amount of category pages they've sieved through. So some great analysis there to look at before you make your next sales call. That's it for the customer manager. Hope you found that useful, and we'll see you again on another video.